So Pam is coming over to my office. Just so you guys know, it's a little bit weird time now. I'm recording this, today is March 11th, 2020. New York is being hit badly right now by the COVID-19 virus. My kids' schools closed today for the first time. People are really panicking. We both feel really well, no cough, no fever. So we didn't shake hands or anything like that. We're not gonna do any of that, but we decided to meet anyway. So Pam is from Pam Ann Marketing. She's been doing SEO for at least 15 years now, starting in the e-commerce space and now doing SEO consulting for a huge set of people, including companies she can't talk about. And we're gonna talk about two main things, Python and Google Apps scripts to help automate your keyword research and keyword development, as well as looking at your XML sitemaps and what you could do to improve your overall site through XML sitemaps. I hope you like this interview, and I hope everybody, by the time you're watching this video, I hope you're all safe. So Pam, thanks for coming to my office here. Just so you all know, it's like just starting the corona virus, or whatever you call COVID-19 is just starting here. So Pam and I are both feeling well, so we decided to do this.
Use hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer every way around through. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, everything will be over and we'll have a vaccine and health and everybody will be good. In any event, Pam, can you tell people who you are?
Sure. I'm Pam Auugst. My company name is Pam Ann Marketing, and I also have a company called Stealth Search and Analytics. Both companies focus on SEO, PPC, and analytics. Pam Ann Marketing works direct with clients, and Stealth works white label through other agencies.
Cool. And you've been doing SEO, you told me, for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. And you started at a place called, I guess, Do-It-Yourself Control. So can you tell us a little about that journey?
Sure. It was a small business I was working for, and they wanted to start selling online. E-commerce was starting to get hot in 2005, or it was already hot. So they realized they had to get on the bandwagon, and so they tasked me with creating an online store, and I was like, sure, that's right up my alley. I like tinkering with website stuff. So figured it out, launched it, was so excited and proud of myself. I sent everyone an email saying, we're live, if you build it, they will come. But nobody came. Right. So I quickly self-taught, trial by fire, SEO, PPC, and other things. So
where do you go to teach yourself that? You just experimented, or you went to like forums? What was the place?
Anything and everything, reading the blogs and experimenting, a lot of experimenting. I definitely latched on to learning Google Analytics right away, and just, obviously things don't happen too quickly with SEO, but was able to measure the impact of the things that I was trying and learn that way.
And while you were working at that company, I guess you were there for 9 years or so, maybe 10 years, close to 10 years. Were there any, obviously lots of different algorithm updates throughout that process? Yeah. Did any hit you and you'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that? Like, you want to share?
Thankfully, no. I definitely did some of the things back in the day that used to work, the over anchor texting and the little too many keywords and whatnot. But no, as far as I know, actually, they hardly changed that site since then. And I don't know if they got hit, but not while I was there, thankfully.
So what made you start your own agency? What was the...
I had one more brief position after that company where I also had a lot of success. I didn't mention that the first one. Eventually I had a lot of success growing that online store, way more than they had even anticipated. So then I had a second position where I also had a lot of success driving traffic to websites. And so I started to get some attention for that. Like, I had a couple interviews, like Internet Retailer magazine. And with that attention, people just started to say, oh, you really know this stuff. Do you do projects on the side? Even my day job boss was like, my brother's got a company too. Can you get him more web traffic? And it's, light bulb went off. I'm getting these projects without even trying. Maybe I should try.
And that's how it started, pretty much organically.
Yeah.
Just like SEO.
Yeah.
And now you have a company. What's the metrics on it? Like, you have how many people working for you?
It's kind of the new agency model where it's. I did have a bunch of employees at one point in time, but more recently I'm just relying on contractors that I've had long-term relationships with, so I can scale up, scale down as needed, keep overhead under control. So I'm the main point person, and I oversee getting everything done with my team.
And want to say anything about what's the Stealth Search and Analytics? What's that model?
It's just the same services, but white label through other agencies. I got so many requests, kind of another organic thing. I got so many requests, like, can you do this for our clients? So, like, we want to offer this, but it's so hard to hire people. I don't even know what I'm hiring for. I don't know how to interview them. Can you just do it and make it look like we're doing it? And I got so many of those requests without even saying to the world that we can do that. And so That's why I created Stealth, was to
Got it.
tell the
So
world.
white labeling for SEO and the name Stealth makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of SEO that you can talk about, which is
Yes, my biggest achievements I cannot say anything about. Biggest
awesome.
clients, biggest achievements.
some of the best
all.
SEOs don't really talk
NDAs.
about their work anyway. So that's the way to keep it, I guess. We want to talk about two little topics that you found to be, passionate about, which I asked you to, tell me what you want to talk about. And one was about Python and Google Apps Scripts and how you can actually use that to help speed up and automate some of your work. Can you describe what you're talking about?
Sure. So like automation in general, I used to really poo-poo it because I strongly believe that SEO is both a science and an art, and the art side requires a lot of creative thinking and critical thinking, and that's just not something that can be fully automated, at least not at this time. So I used to kind of just poo-poo the idea of automation, but I've realized lately that time is money, obviously, in the services industry. And when I was tracking how much time was spent just simply pulling data from a variety of different places and putting it into one spot, usually a spreadsheet, how much time was being spent on that. And I was like, all right, this can and should be automated. So just about everything I do is in spreadsheets, Google Sheets. And so Google Apps Script has been great for pulling in information I use the SEMrush API to pull in what keywords a page is already ranking for. Mm-hmm. So when we're mapping out our keywords, we can make sure not to break anything that's already working. So it's nice to have that data right in there. And also the Python, as far as keyword research goes too, it's a lot around keyword research. I'll do a little poking around in the beginning and find common modifiers for a space. So to use us as an example, we do SEO, PPC, and analytics. The modifiers people use when searching for a solution like that are like services, company, agency, firm, consultant, expert. And so to run all those different combinations with the different services takes a lot of time if you do it manually. So I used Python to write a script that just does all the different combinations of all the different words that I put into it. So I'll get SEO, company, PPC, company, and then spelled out search engine optimization company, like all the different variations. And so this script will spit out thousands of keywords in seconds.
Right.
I wrote it so that there's an Excel sheet that it spits out to with 700 rows in each column. And so I could just copy paste and import, to get the keyword data on each of those 700 at a time. So it took a process that was like about 6 hours on average down to about 2. So I basically tripled my, time is money, and basically tripled my profit margin with that one script.
Impressive. And I guess you continue to think about what you're doing on a daily basis and what could be automated through Python.
Now I got the bug. I'm looking at everything ooh, can I write a script for this? And it does take a bit of time up front to figure out how to automate it. But then once I do, it saves so much time. Another thing I did with Python is pulling the PAA and the people also search, people also ask and people also search for a certain query when looking for secondary related keywords.
So that just gives you more keyword data.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Excellent. And XML Sitemaps, in terms of using that for audits. So I assume it's just a very cool way to isolate your pages and see what Google knows about them, but can you describe your process for that?
Yeah, sure. So when I mentioned that I wanted to talk about XML Sitemaps, it's because lately I've been really harping on it a lot, because a lot of SEO companies or experts or in-house people, whoever is working on the site, are like, oh, we have an XML sitemap and we submitted to Search Console. Boom, we're done.
Right.
And my approach has been, have you looked at what's in there? Now that almost all of the sites that I work with are WordPress, it's usually Yoast that creates the sitemap, the XML sitemap, and the plugin does a great job. But what people don't realize is that when there's new plugins added or themes added, some of those create new custom post types that then also end up in the XML sitemap, and it may just be like sliders or something, very thin content.
Right.
So I've always done that in my audits, is taking a closer look other than just do they have one. But lately I've been really digging deep in there because Google's getting pickier about content quality and thin content. And so I've been really encouraging people to take a much closer look. At least just at the very first step, just look at what post types are in there. See if there's a few you should turn off in the Yoast settings. It's quick and easy. And then if you have more time, look into each one, and there's just so much old stuff that accumulates over the years, a test page or some old content that's just not relevant anymore. So for content cleanup, basically. But basically I'm just kind of on a mission lately, to say to people, don't stop at making sure you have an XML sitemap and submitting it. Like, look at what's actually in it.
And so you go into Google Search Console, you go to the sitemaps report, and you're looking to see what's indexed and what's not, and any errors.
Well, first I'm just looking at eventually, yes, but first just looking at the sitemap index itself, the sitemap of sitemaps. Most sites will use Yoast for it, and then it'll be at whatever your URL is, /sitemap_index.xml, and that will list all the sub-sitemaps in it, and just that right there, just take a look, like what's in there. Do you see things that say like slider or something is a common one? Or sometimes themes come with like portfolio post types and testimonial post types, and that site just doesn't use them. So they're all lorem ipsum. I find it all the time.
So basically don't feed stuff to Google that you don't want Google to have anyway.
Yeah.
So that's step one. And then step two is to dig into the ones that you have fed and making sure Google can consume that stuff.
Yes. And then it's looking in Search Console and making sure that things are indexed appropriately.
Cool. Awesome. For those watching, how can they learn more about you? How do they follow you maybe on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever?
Yep. Pam Ann Marketing pretty much anywhere. PamAnnMarketing.com, at Pam Ann Marketing on Twitter, Facebook.com/Pam Ann Marketing, wherever you can go on social. I'm there as Pam Ann Marketing.
Well, I appreciate you coming out here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so Pam just left. Really nice lady. Really nice speaking with her, and amazing that she came out here during this time. I told her she doesn't have to. We could postpone it, but she wants to. She has family here in the neighborhood, and it's not a far drive for her. And you can see the amazing stuff she's doing for her clients and understanding how to save them money by building out these scripts to not charge them 6 or 7 hours for keyword research, but charge them maybe 2 hours, and everybody she can spend more time doing the SEO instead of doing lesser end types of stuff in terms of just manual labor and busy work. It's a bit surreal to be doing this interview with what's going on now. I'm probably panicking more than most people for some reason, but hopefully when this is over, we'll all look back at this and say, all right, we got through this, we're all healthy and happy and safe, and I hope everybody who's watching this video was not seriously impacted by this. That was Pam, and really happy she came out here to talk to me about those top topics about SEO automation through Python and Google Apps scripts, as well as XML sitemaps. And I look forward to speaking to somebody else soon. Hopefully I'll be able to get out to more places in the upcoming months. But we'll see what the world's doing, and we'll see what's going on with this virus, and hopefully people will remain safe, vigilant. Speak to you guys soon. Bye.